Very good morning, YouTube. What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Flying with Captain Chris. Today, I am very excited and very happy to share with you this flight in an amazing plane. I am talking about the PMDG Boeing 737-700 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Beautifully simulated, very complex airplane, really complex. Everything works in this airplane. Quite similar in all aspects to the real plane. So it's really a beautiful experience that you will have in this one. If you already have experience flying the prepared or the FSX models of PMDG, you know what to expect. Everything works, everything is just perfect. So no difference in this one. Just a quick reminder, this is a beta version. This is still work in progress. So there may be some details that are not correct. Those are taken care of already, especially sounds are still a work in progress. Most of the sounds are not the finished one, and some details in other aspects as well are not the finished, the end product. So this is basically a preview of the beta version. Okay guys, before we begin, just the usual statements of order. This is not a training video. This is not for real life. This is only and exclusively for entertainment and to show the beta version of this new coming product to Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is the PMDG Boeing 737-700. Remember that this is a beta. Things can change, things can improve from the release version. Nothing that you see here is final and is a work in progress, especially sounds are still a work in progress. So please bear that in mind. This is not a finished or released product, it's just a preview of the beta version. And again, just to re-emphasize, this is not for training, not for real life. I'm not following any special SOPs. I am just having fun flying this super realistic simulation. I hope you enjoyed. So without ado, let's do this flight. It's going to be a very short flight, but packed with information. It's a very short trip, only 25 minutes, but I will do my best to explain everything that is going on and how to do things, especially for those of you new to this platform or to this PMDG. It's not going to be a tutorial flight per se. It's going to be just me enjoying the simulator and doing the flight and trying to explain what is it that I am doing as I go along. So here is the flight plan. Okay, I've done my Simbrief already. This is the flight plan. It's going to be, like I said, fly from Guayaquil to Cuenca at flight level 200. Is a 26 minutes flight time using 1.3 tons of fuel. Total fuel will be 4 tons with alternate Guayaquil. So if we cannot enter Cuenca, we'll just go back to Guayaquil. But the weather is good, so shouldn't be a problem. The zero fuel weight will be, for this example, 52.6 with 56.4 takeoff weight and a landing weight of 55.1. So let's go ahead and jump into the airplane. Okay, so as you can see, before we move inside, the main door is open, the stairs is already connected. On the right hand side, the cargo doors are already open and the loaders are there. So we are basically ready to start the flight. So let's go inside. Okay, welcome. That's the office. That's the Boeing 737 cockpit. Let's jump into the captain's seat. And as you can tell, this is a condition called cold and dark. The airplane is totally without electricity, without energy. So first thing we have to do is the electrical power up procedure. So we go to the overhead panel Make sure that all the switches are in the correct position, especially electrical hydraulics pumps. We need them to be off. Wipers, we need them to be in park. Igniters, we need them to be off. Battery is off as well. Emergency lights is off. Landing gear, we need to be down. Parking brake, we need to be set. And the engine start levers cut off. So that's basically what we need for a safe electrical power up application. So let's start. Battery on, so we just close the guard and now the airplane has battery. And first thing we need to do before starting the APU is a fire test. For that, let me set up a good camera angle here so that it can cover what we need. Okay, something like that. Okay, so first fault and overheat. Okay, two lights are on, overheat detection light is on. That is what we need to see. Second test is the fire detection test. So we have engine 1, engine 2, engine 3, two lights, fire warning cutout is working, lights are off, fire detection is complete. Once done that, we can start the APU. So let's go ahead and start the APU, and for that we just select the APU selector to start and then back to on. While we wait for the APU to start, let's review our departure. Okay, here it is the chart. It's gonna be the departing Guayaquil at sea level, transition altitude 3000, RNAV1 or RNP1, GNSS required, MSA is 3400, 25 miles around the airport. We're departing in heading 213, so that's runway heading to cross at or above 2000 feet. So once we cross 2000 feet, we turn direct to Everett to cross Everett at level 130 or above. That is the departure procedure, pretty simple. If we look at the airport, that is the airport, that's our position here and the ramp. So we expect a short taxi, just Bravo Alpha to runway 21 and departure. So that's basically for departure, that's the plan. Okay, the APU is running and ready to be connected to the bus. So let's go ahead and connect the APU to the bus. APU is on bus now. And to complete the electrical power up procedure, we need to do one more test of the fire system, fire detection system. And that is the wheel well fire detection system. If you recall, with the battery only, the test only light up engines 1, 2, and APU. With full AC and DC power on the airplane, we should have the wheel well as well. So let's do that. There it is, wheel well, bell cutout, check, and the fire is checked. So the reason that we do two tests, one before starting the APU and two after starting the APU, is number one, only when we start from battery, and number two, because when battery only, the wheel well doesn't work. After we have full AC and DC established, the wheel well will work. And in the first test, we cancel the alarm with this switch here, and in the second test, we cancel the alarm with the bell cutout switch here. So we've checked everything that there is to check about on the fire detection system, and that is done only on the first flight of the day also. Okay, so that is done, and with that, the electrical power up procedure is complete. Next thing to do is the preliminary cockpit preparation. For that, we start in the aft overhead panel, which is this one here. Make sure that this is selected to flight. The flight recorder is in normal position. This light off at this moment is normal. All the lights here should be off. EEC should be on. Oxygen pressure should be normal, and 1650 psi is normal for now. Green lights on the landing gear and no lights here. So let's select the ILS to nav. On the sea lights are correct. That's part of the initial self-test, and align is correct. So now the IRSs are starting to align. Next thing to do is to check quantity. So oxygen quantity is okay. Let's go down here to check engine oil quantity, and that is okay. And let's check now hydraulic quantity, and that is okay as well. Brake temperatures are low, so that is good. Next thing to check is the condition of the airplane. We do that by reviewing the logs, the technical logs. But here in PMDG, in this simulation, we can select menu. We can select PMDG setup, aircraft, failures, make sure that we don't have any failures and everything is good to go. So we had a good airplane. Go back to FMC here. And we can check the emergency equipment and do the walk around. And that completes basically the preliminary cockpit preparation. Next step, pre-flight procedure. Before we do that, let's start loading our plane. So right now we have left 2.5 tons of fuel, and as per the flight plan, we require for this flight 4 tons of fuel. So let's load that. So menu, FSX actions, ground services, page number 2, fuel. Let's request the fuel track. And what's our target? Our target, let me set this like this. Our target is 4,000 tons, 4,000 kgs. So once the fuel truck arrives, we can start fueling the plane. Okay, while we fuel the plane, from outside we saw that we have both cargo doors open and the main cargo door open, which is correct. So that's the stair, main door open, both cargo doors open, the loaders are already there, and here is the fuel truck already there, properly connected, ready to refuel. So let's go back inside, go back to our CDU, and once everything is set, we will be able to start refueling the airplane. Let's wait a little bit until the fueler connects everything, grounds everything. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, there it is. So start refueling process. Okay, now that we have that on its way, let's do the CDU preparation. So we always start, if we are not in FMC mode, we select menu, select FMC, and we always start in the ident page. If the ident page is not showing, you have something else like this. You go init ref, index, ident. In ident page, we need to verify that the model, so the software loaded in the computer is correct for the model. We are in a 737-700. Winglets, actually, remember this is a beta, work in progress, so it should be a W here. Engine rating 24K, that is correct. Navigation database is correct. What is the next step? Next step in Boeing CDUs always be the lower right line select key. So this one. So next step, position init. Let's go to position init. We click there. Position init. That's our last position. And they need to, the ILS need the airplane present position to complete its alignment. So that's what we have squares here. It's meaning it needs this information before it can continue with the alignment. So we need to enter that. How do we do that? Well, we go to next page. We select GPS position because that's the most accurate position that we have. We go previous page and we enter that GPS position into the set IRS position. Now the system can complete its alignment. Now we check that the date, time and date is correct. So it says 14/17 of 19 of April. Let's check that with the clock, 14/17, and if we check here, 19 of April 2022. So that is good. Now let's go back to UTC. Okay, so that's all we need to do in position init page. What's the next step? You guessed it. Next step, 6 right, line select key. These are called line select keys. And this is the left, this right, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So line select key 6 right is this one, root. Let's go root. Now we can load the flight plan manually, or we can request. I've done through Simbrief the flight plan, so flight plan is there, so we can just request the flight plan. And that is from Guayaquil to Cuenca. We select this one. That's the one that we are looking forward to load. And we are loading. This is a very short plan, but I'm just showing you how to do it from the Simbrief, which is integrated basically with PMDG, so you can load it directly. You don't have to type again the whole plan. Okay, the route uplink is ready, so we just press here. That will be the line select key 6 left. We press this one. The route is being loaded. So we just wait a few seconds until the route is finishing loading. There it is. And now we activate and execute. Now we have a route. So as you can see, this is the route page, active route page, page number 1 of 2. So next page, that's the second page, and that's our route. Direct to Everett, and then via Alpha 566 to Cuenca VOR. That is how the routes are loaded in real life. The routes are not loaded with SIDs, seats, or stars. That's something that you have to load it always manually. So let's do that. Departure arrival key, departure from Guayaquil, runway 21, Everett to Alpha. We execute that. Now again, departure arrival, arrival into Cuenca, ILS Yankee 24 from Cuenca VOR, execute. Back to route again, back to next page, and that's the full route. Everett to Everett, then Alpha 566 to Cuenca VOR, then the approach transition to the center fix for runway 24, the ILS Yankee 424, and the missed approach back to Cuenca VOR, and that is our route. So the route is fully loaded now, and we can check and verify that. For that, let me select, here we can select plan mode, and we select the next page, and that's our airplane, that's our takeoff runway. We are taking off from runway 21 south westbound, so we go runway track to 2000 feet. 2000 feet we turn direct to Everett to cross Everett at or above 13,000 feet. That is exactly as per our plan. Remember when we checked here, that is 2000 feet direct to Everett. Very simple. For the arrival, because this is a very short flight, we are going to check the arrival as well. So let's keep step here. That's Everett. That is the Alpha 566 to Cuenca VOR, and then from Cuenca VOR it says at or above 1500 feet, and that is correct. At or above 1500. Then 081 to 7 DME, and next here 081 to 7 DME, descending to 12,500. So let's enter that. That is not here for some reason. Let's enter 12,500 or above. Okay, we execute that. So this is this point here. Next we go to intercept this point here, descending to 11,700, and the final approach fix at 10.1 dB, 11,700, which is this final fix for runway 24. Then 10 GME to runway 34 on 235, which is all correct. 10 GME, 235 to runway 24. For the miss approach, we go to the Cuenca VOR 9 DME, which is this point here, and we cross that at or above 10,300, and that is also missing, so we have to enter that 10,300 or above. We enter here, we execute. Then we turn to intercept 061 to Cuenca VOR, to cross Cuenca VOR at or above 1500, and that is this point here, and then we enter into the hold. The hold will be 081 with right turns at 15,000 feet. So we check here, hold 081 right turns at 15,000 over Cuenca VOR. So all is good, our route is checked, departure, arrival, and approach is checked. There is no arrival actually, departure and approach is checked as well. So what we do next? Let's go back to map. First of all, let's go back to route. So we've finished the route part of the CDU preparation. Now we go to performance initialization. Let's make a pause here just to, let's assume that the fuelers came and, hey Captain, fuel is correct. So we check here, 4 tons, yeah, that's what we need, 4 tons is correct, so you can disconnect the bowser. So menu, FS actions, ground services, next page, release the fuel track. And we can set the seatbelts, seatbelts to on. Next step, start loading. So we are ready to start loading, so we can request the cards. And how much do we need to load? Let's see. Let me back to edit this fly and see what I did. Okay, so I did all the calculations with 120 passengers, 3.8 tons. Okay, so 3.8. Let's put 1900 here, 1900 there. So 1900 in the forward cargo, 1900 in the aft cargo, and 120 passengers. So we can request a passenger bus as well, and as soon as that we have that, we can start loading. In the meantime, we will keep finishing our preparation. So that is just to show you what options you have. There are other options quicker to load as well. You don't need to do that. You can. I'm showing you this just in case you want to play with all this stuff. And if you go outside, you can see all the cars and all the action going on as well, which is pretty cool. Let's go back inside and let's start loading the back. Let's start loading the passengers, and now we just need to wait to start loading the forward cargo as well. Okay, there it is. They are connecting the cards. We should be able to start the forward cargo soon. There we go. Okay, that's another view there. Okay, now we start loading. So now everything is being loaded and we can continue with our CDU pre-flight preparation. So the next page after the route, the next page is performance initialization. So what do they need? Cost index reserves. We get that from our flight plan. Okay, cost index 26, reserves 2 tons. So cost index will be 26, reserve 2 tons. And the zero fuel weight will be 52.6. So we can enter that, 52.6. Okay, and the plane fuel is 4 tons, which is good. Trip cruise altitude is going to be level 200. We execute that. Temperature for the top of climb is -9 at 200. So we're going to enter that. -9 at 200. Transition altitude. During the departure briefing chart, we saw that it's 3,000 feet. So we enter that. Okay, that is good. Now we go to climb. So we're going to climb 250 up to 10,000 feet and then 281 transition into max 611. The cruise is going to be a max 611. Descent is going to be max 610 transition into 268 and 240 below 10, which is incorrect because our airport is a very high elevation airport. It's 8,300 feet high. So we need to do 240 below 190. So we enter that and we execute that. So now our performance information is complete. One more thing, legs, route data, requesting winds. We can do that because we've done through the flight planning portion through the Simbrief, and Simbrief has winds integration as well. So we request that, loading winds now, and all that is exactly as per real life procedures. So here are the winds, we execute those, and these are Everett and Simbrief and SIMEF, which are the cruise waypoints. The other waypoints don't have winds because they are either during climb or descent. So these are cruise winds only. Everett 46 with 17, SIMEF 122 with 27. We can check that, should be fairly similar here. Everett at 20152 at 16 and SIMEF 122 at 30. So yeah, that's pretty close. Now descent page forecast, the transition level for descent is 180. Let's cross check that. Yeah, transition is 180, and we need to load the descent winds as well. So requesting descent winds. We're almost ready with our CDU. If we don't have the Simbrief, or if you don't have acres communication, then you have to do all this manually. So loading winds and execute them. So now these are winds for descent portion. Good. Next we go to progress page and we check 114 distance, and we check here 110. So that is pretty close. Perfect. What else? In fixed page we will enter as just as a reference 25 miles around Guayaquil to know where the MSA is, and for arrival the MSA is around the VOR, Cuenca VOR, 25 miles. That is the circle, so we're gonna enter that Cuenca VOR at 25 miles. So what does this fix do? It gives me basically a picture like this. So I know that if I am within this area here anywhere, my minimum safe altitude is 4,000 feet. So I'm safe. If something happened, I don't need to worry about altitudes as long as I am 4,000 feet inside this area here. That's for departure. So that's pretty cool. Okay, what else do we need in the FMC or in the CDU? I think with that we are finished. Just need to do the performance calculations. But the CDU is basically finished, and the pilot not flying will go next page, and let's continue with the pre-flight procedure. So let's go back to the overhead. Let's start in the back. Everything is looking good here. In the forward overhead, all the guards are closed. These two lights are okay to be on at this point. All these lights off. Your damper can go on and this light should off. Navigation switches all normal and auto. This is the fuel, spare and engine valves are open. Crossfeed is closed, valve is closed. Center fuel pumps off. Main pumps off. We can start one of them just because the APU is already running. So that's it. Here electrical system galley power is on. Drives are off because the engines are not running. All the guards are down. These blue lights are okay because the engines are not running again. Here emergency lights can come. Nothing. Window heat, we can turn window heat on at this moment and verify that the 4 lights are on. Anti-ice we don't need, and even if we need, it's okay to have them off at this point. Hydraulics are off. Doors are still open. Cabin temperature is okay. Dual blade is okay at this moment. Bags are auto. isolation valve is open, and all the bleeds are on. Flight altitude for pressurization 20,000, and we are going to 8,300 feet high airport. So we set here 8,300, and mode selector in auto, very important. Lights, just the position steady light is on, all the lights are off, engine start selectors off, ignition is in left, that is alternating between flights, and all the exterior lights are off. Here at the moment we just set airports as a reference, traffic on, flight path vector, we go to hectopascals, and let's see what is the weather in Guayaquil. So here meter, and we are looking to Guayaquil. So 1100, wind 300 at 3, greater than 10 visibility, fewer 1000 broken, 2300 broken at 10,000. 24 degrees the temperature, QNH 1011, and that is it. Okay, so we said 1011, we set here also hectopascals 1011, and we verify 20 feet, 30 feet, 20 feet, and that is correct with the field as well. What else we do here? We do let's start with the check oxygen test. Check is working. Clock, that's been checked here. Flight instruments. At the moment we only need one flag, which is no V-speeds in the PFD, one flag in the ND, which is take us off, and the RMI flags. That's all. All other flags must be gone by now. So all that is good. Let's do the test here of the lamps. All test is correct, and now testing of the lights. So we go back here, make sure that all the lights and all the bulbs are working, and they are. This one is okay to be off at the moment because that's not tested with that switch. Everything else is on and working. Beautiful. Okay, so that is that test. Back to bright. Perfect, all the lights are on. We can reset that. We can reset the fuel flow, 0, auto, anti-skidding, RTO, light off, flaps are up, gear down, 3 greens. Brake pressure is low, we'll recharge that, we can check that. That's the first officer panel, he has to do that, but today we're single pilot, so I'm doing everything. Here everything looks correct, and finally here speed brake is off, flaps up, parking brake is set, idle. This has been checked. We can frequencies, so 115.9, that is the VOR, let's see. Yeah, the Guayaquil VOR 115.9, and then Cuenca VOR 114.5. So 115.9 here, 115.9 here, 114.5 on standby on both sides. Okay, so let's see here, Golf Yankee Victor, correct sensing and correct everything. Good. And that is it. Great. So with that, I think we've done all in the pre-flight preparation. So what is the next step? Well, we have a checklist for that. Our first checklist, pre-flight checklist, this one. So oxygen tested 100%. Navigation, transfer, and display switches, they are normal and auto. Window heat is on. Pressurization mode selector in auto. Flight instruments, heading 303, 1. So 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and 4 times. Good. Parking brake set, engine start levers, cut off. Great. Let's see how we are doing with the loading. FS actions, ground services, previous page. Okay, loading is complete, so I'm gonna release everyone. And passengers are all complete, so I'm gonna release the passenger bus. Good. Okay, I'm not gonna do the briefings today because this video is already starting to be a little bit long, so I'm just gonna omit the briefings, and we're gonna request the ATC clearance. Again, I'm not online or anything, and of course I'm not using the crappy ATC from the flight simulator, so I'm just gonna pretend that we've received the clearance as filed. Climb to and maintain flight level 200, squawk 2334. So 2334 on the squawk. We are good to go via flight plan, so that's runway track initially, or runway heading 213 up to 200. Okay, we cross check 200 here as well, 8300 as well, so that is good. Next thing we need to do here is flight director on. The first one is the pilot flying, so the master is there, and the other side as well. It's very important to turn both flight directors on. Okay, so next point, what are we doing here? Okay, all the cargo doors are closed by now, just the main door is open. Let's do a quick view from the outside. Yeah, everybody's gone. This guy is just about to leave. Baggage doors are closed, so we are ready. So let's see, now we need to do the performance. For performance, our EFB is still not working. It will come later on. So for now, I'm gonna use my Top Cut. Okay, that's my Top Cut performance calculator. So let's go ahead and select what's the payload here. We have 120 passengers. So I'm gonna enter here 120 passengers. And we have 3,800 cargo, 3,800, there you go. Now we have 4 tons of fuel. Taxi is about 200, and trip fuel is about 1,300. I think that was it. Let's see, yeah, 1,300, perfect. So let's cross check. Zero fuel weight will be 52.9, yes. Takeoff weight 56.4, yes. Landing 55.1, yes. All checks, perfect. And let's see here. Let's see here with the payload. We have 52.60 fuel, which is correct, and 56.5 minus 200 for taxi, 56.4 or 0.3 for takeoff. So all that is good. Now we are going from Guayaquil, Guayaquil is this one, to Cuenca, which is this one. Good, perfect. So that's our weight and balance. Let's go takeoff. Let's go dry here, and let's update the weather. Okay, okay, 300 at 3, more than 10, 24 degrees, 1011, perfect. So that's what we have here. Flap 5, that's our takeoff weight. And before we do that, let me real quick do this update for Cuenca, our destination. Okay, wind calm, light rain, more than 10, few 1,000, broken 3,000, overcast 10,000, 12 degrees, 1026. Okay, good. That's what we have here. And flaps 40. Okay, let's compute that. Perfect. So we are good with that. And for in-flight, braking 3 will be good enough. Perfect. So we are good for landing. Now let's do our takeoff. Flaps 5. Thrust configuration, takeoff, air conditioning on, anti-ice off, and let's compute that. Okay, so that's our takeoff performance. So I'm gonna go ahead and select this, go to menu, go to FMC, go to N1 limit, And assumed temperature is gonna be 48 degrees here, so 48 degrees here, 48 degrees there. Climb 1 is selected. Takeoff page, we start on the second page. Acceleration is gonna be 3000. Thrust reduction 1000, acceleration 1000, flaps is gonna be 5. C of G is 24.1, so we click that there, 24.1, 5.1 will be the trim. And these are for balanced runway, the speeds 24, 25, 31, and for improved performance is 29, 29, 30. So I'm gonna use this one, 29, 29, 30. So 29 V1, 29 VR, and 130 V2. Good. Now we select the VREF 30 is 131. That is checked. And now we go to our MCP, auto throttle arm, 130. Here, track or heading 213, LNAV arm, altitude 2000, arm, LNAV flight director. With that, that is the pre-flight complete. Now, are we ready to close? Yes, we are ready to close. So menu, FS action, ground services, page number 3, release that one. That will close the door. Perfect. What do we need to do? Just get in contact with our ground staff. Make sure that the area is clear to pressurize. And yeah, area is clear to pressurize. So let's pressurize. Okay, so fuel pumps and the main tanks on. We don't turn the center tank pumps because we don't have fuel in the center tank. Electrical, nothing to change, nothing to change. Hydraulic pressure. We pressurize hydraulic system. All the lights are off. Nothing to change and nothing to change here. Here we see that everything is good. We select engine and we select GIRA plus. Okay, doors is closed. And finally, in ground services, make sure that the parking brake is set and we can go ahead and remove the chunks. So now we forgot about ground services. Everything is good. Chocks are removed. Area is clear. We are clear for pushback and engine start. Okay, ready for this? I am ready. So everything is pressurized. And what we need to do is the before start checklist. So second checklist, before start checklist, this one. Flight deck door. Flight deck door is closed and locked. Fuel. We have 4 tons. Fuel pumps are on. Passenger signs, auto on. Windows. Windows are closed and locked. MCP. V2 130 heading 213, altitude to 20,000. Takeoff speeds 129, 129, 130. CDU pre-flight is completed. If you see here index in the takeoff race page, if you see index means the pre-flight is complete. The computer has all the information it needs to the flight. Okay, rudder and aileron trim, that is the aileron trim, that is the rudder trim, and they are showing free and zero. Taxi and takeoff briefing is completed, and anti-collision light is on. So before the start checklist complete. Okay, we are ready for pushback. For pushback, I'm gonna use this one here. I'm gonna pre-plan the pushback. I cannot speak today. Okay, pre-plan the pushback. So it's gonna be something like this. We want to go that way. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, and request pushback.
Cockpit to ground.
This is ground. Stand by.
Okay, that's the pushback coming, the pushback track coming. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, that's the pushback track connecting to our beautiful 737-700 for this short flight from Guayaquil to Quito. Really cool. Just waiting for the ground mechanic to tell that he is ready.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
We are cleared for start and push.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
Okay, brakes
Parking
release.
brakes are released.
First officer will
Commencing
start
playback.
its
You can
timing.
start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
So first officer clock will do the block time and captain clock will do the flight time. He said that's clear to start, area is clear, so very important in the 737 before the engine start, we have to put the packs to off. So pack to off, otherwise the APU will not have enough pressure to start the engines. So pack to off and let's start the right engine. Right engine start. We see that the start valve is open. We see that we have N2 rotation, N1 rotation. Oil pressure is increasing. At the minimum of 20, ideally 25 or more, is good to introduce fuel. So we set the fuel to idle. And we see fuel flow here. Good. EGT rising. So now we have everything. Low oil pressure light off. Let's see how we're doing. We're doing good here. Next thing will happen at 56. The starter valve will close. There we go. There we go. And now we need to be stable, fully stable. Engine 2 is good, starting engine 1. Let's see how we're doing. Good.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Okay, airplane is not moving. We are good. Parking brake is
Parking
set.
brake set.
So we have
You may
N1,
disconnect.
we have N2, we
Okay,
have
sir.
oil
Clear to
pressure
disconnect. Pin has
at
been
least
removed. See
22,
you at the side. Have a good flight.
Holding
25.
position waiting for the visual. Thank you and
Fuel.
goodbye.
Okay, introducing fuel. Now we have to make sure that the truck moves away and is doing it. So we can close this window. We don't need that anymore. Perfect. So fuel, EGT, perfect, everything working normally. Next thing will be 56, the starter valve to close. There we go. Start valve close. And now we have to see this EGT line disappear. 2, 4, 6. Engine is stable. So after the start flow, generators here, nothing to do. Generators online, generator 1, generator 2, nothing to do here. Prop hits on, anti-ice not required, hydraulics are okay. Packs auto, isolation valve auto, APU bleed off, APU off, start selectors continuous, flaps 5, okay, now we 21.5 on radio 2 and we can do the flight controls check. So flight controls check. Perfect. And finally we do a recall. So we just press here. We see that all the lights come on in both sides, and that when we release this button, none of the lights are on. That means the recall is good. So third checklist before taxi. Before taxi checklist is this one here. So generators, let's go up here. They are on. Prop heat on. Anti-ice not required. Isolation valve auto. Engine start switches continuous. Recall has been checked. Auto brake RTO. Engine start levers idle detent. Flight controls checked. Ground equipment clear. Clear. Ground equipment is clear. We are ready to taxi. Okay, yeah, area is clear, ready to taxi. So let's request taxi clearance. They cleared to taxi via Bravo Alpha. Taxi lights on. Release brakes. Here we go. There is a tiller access, which I highly recommend. So you can taxi. Let me show you. Here is the tiller. This is on the captain only. So that's why the captain only taxis this airplane. So when you set an access to the tiller, you simulate exactly how we taxi in real life. So that's pretty cool, and it's pretty accurate and really good. So it's good if you have extra access in your setup in your hardware to set it up as a tiller access. Okay, while we are taxiing here, we verify that the instruments are okay, that the slip skill indication is working, that the compass are working, that the ADI is aligned, and that pretty much everything is good as expected. Okay, we're about to turn right here, right and then left. Area is clear. And in the meantime, we're just waiting for the cabin to be ready. Okay, turning left here, area is clear. I'm still getting used to this axis, the tiller axis. Okay, so we will taxi to the holding point of runway 21 here, and we will do our before takeoff procedure there. Okay. Parking brake set. Good. Let me check one thing real quick. Okay, so I'm back. Well, we are ready just before takeoff, and for that we need to make sure that the flaps are 5 and in green. We can hide this thing, and that the trim is set to 5.1. So let me set that 5.1. So before takeoff checklist: flaps 5.5, green lights, stabilizer trim 5.1 units set. Before takeoff checklist complete, and we are ready. Request takeoff clearance, and they come back and set clear for takeoff runway 21. Okay, so we set strobe lights, landing lights, gilded taxi lights, release brakes. Here we go. Okay, traffic, no traffic on Ticas area. So far is clear. Let's see, window view, for those of you that like that kind of stuff. Outside view. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful plane. Okay. Let's use most of the runway.
Approaching 2, 1.
Okay. Good, so runway 21 is checked, heading is checked, lights are on, we're clear for takeoff, let's go. More than 40% N1, start the clock. Yep, engine stable.
Approaching.
Let's go.
2, 1.
Toga switch.
On runway.
N1 and Toga.
2, 1.
Thrust is set. Airspeed is alive.
80 knots.
Thrust hold. Engine's good.
Rotate. Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. LNAV. $400. Commands. At 1,000 feet, we have to see climb thrust. There it is, climb thrust. And we'll keep this speed until 3,000. We will accelerate at 3,000. So next thing we need to know, we need to see is at 2,000 feet turning towards Everett. We're almost there. There we go, 2,000 feet turning towards Everett. Gonna update my heading back there and increase the range a little bit. Let's turn terrain on. Weather radar is still not working. Okay, transition, 3,000 feet, altimeter reset to standard, and standard set. We passed 3,000, we're going to Everett so we can accelerate. So I'm gonna set clean speed, reduce the pitch, start accelerating. Remember that during climb, the climb thrust is fixed. Now we are starting to accelerate, flaps 1. Okay, flap 1, green light, and now that we pass this back here, flap 1, go flaps up. Flaps up, flaps are turning up, slats are also retracting. Beautiful. Okay, flaps up, no lights, VNAV. So N1 LNAV VNAV speed, and the after takeoff flow is engine start selectors back to off, anti-ice not required, APU is on, isolation is auto, the cabin is climbing, airplane is pressurizing, auto brake selector off, landing gear selector off, and we do the after takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist, engine blades are on, packs auto, landing gear up and off, flaps up, no lights. After takeoff checklist is complete. Okay, we are in clouds, but no need to turn anti-ice on because they're very high temperature. TAT is 24. We don't use engine anti-ice unless TAT is less than 10 degrees Celsius. So next thing to happen, we cross 10,000, and at 10,000 we accelerate to 281. Right now the magenta speed is 250, that's the commanded speed. And the restriction is Everett at 130 or above. We are climbing to cruise level 200 and we have 200 set here. So next restriction, 250 is valid up to flight level 100. Above will be 281, and that will see that changeover soon while crossing 10,000 feet. Crossing 10,000 feet, speed jump to 281. 281 is now in magenta, that's the commanded speed, perfect. Seatbelt auto, lights off. And the cabin is still climbing, pressurizing is good, all the instruments are good. Perfect. Now Everett is at, let's see. So that's the departure here. We're here. Everett from Guayaquil Bor to Everett is a distance of 40 DME, 40 DME. So this is the distance from the Guayaquil Bor, 18, means 22 more to go until position Everett. Estimating Everett at 1507, right now is 1503. We are 5 minutes into the flight, that's flight time, and we are 15 minutes into the block time. That is block time, we get paid on this clock, and this is our flight time. Airplane cycles are based on this clock here. Okay, so what is next? We are climbing this, our top of climb info indication here, and if you go to progress page, you can see that as well. Top of climb will be at 1506. Right now it's 1504, so in 2 minutes more, 7 minutes total time. That's pretty good. Let's see how we're doing. Okay, we are on top of the clouds already. Beautiful, absolutely. This is so amazing. I love it. Let's see. There you go. Beautiful plane, beautiful livery. Absolutely fantastic. This is a dream. This is a dream come true. Okay, back inside. We're climbing, passing flight level 160 now. Let me select climb here to see what's going on. So 281, that's our indicated airspeed. Down here is our Mach airspeed of 0.57. Once we get to 0.61, it will change from 281 to 0.61 Mach. That will be our cruise Mach. Almost there, 3,000 feet to go. Everything looks good. We are 30 miles from the VOR. That means 10 miles more to go towards position Everett. That's our VOR there. So we are in, right now we are in radial 177 from the Guayaquil VOR. Okay, so we are 1,000 feet to level off. That's our alarm. FMC speed, VNAV path. So now we are in the econ climb page. Once we level off, we should get the cruise page. We're just 4 miles from Everett position. There we go, we're almost there. 8 minutes, that's our cruise page, 3 tons. We started with 4 tons, now we are down to 3 tons, 8 minutes. That's been our climb. So let's compare that real quick with our flight plan. Flight plan says climb, it will take 7 minutes. And 2.5 we started with 4 tons. 2.5 to 3.5. So yeah, 1 ton from 3.3 from takeoff, 3.5 from ramp. So 1 ton, 7 minutes. That's pretty good. That's exactly what we have here. 7 minutes, 1 ton down. Good. So now we're turning towards position Everett. Let me just synchronize my heading here. And now we need to start preparing for the descent. So descent briefing. So let's review the chart real quick. We are here. Okay. So now we can change to the Cuenca VOR, which is 114.5 and 095. So let's select here 095. That's the course. and let's change to 114.5. So now we can see here Cuenca VOR, pointers correct, all is good, and we are on the 0905 radial almost. Perfect. So let's see. 3 tons, 2.7, landing with 2.7 means we still need to burn 300 kilos. So that's our gross weight at the moment, 55.6 minus 300. We will be landing with 55.3, 55.3 for Cuenca, runway 24. VREF 40 will be 127. So we select that and we enter that here, 40 with 127. That is selected. Now, we still have 3 minutes for touch of descent, so let's brief the approach chart here. Cuenca chart is valid, category B and C, we are category C. ILS Yankee runway 24. These are the frequencies, okay. ILS 110.9, 235, so 110.9, we will preset here on standby. 110.9, that's have to be like that. Okay, 235, I'm gonna set that here, 235. So the left side will be done, 235, there it is. I thought I had selected like this. Okay, good. Let me reduce the brightness of the terrain here so we have better contrast for our top of descent as well. Perfect, so let's continue with the chart. Final approach point is 10.1 at 11,700, miss approach altitude 8630, and that is for cut 1. We need 1700 meters, we have more than 10. So 8630, let's set that. That's gonna take a little bit of time. That's remember that this is a beta, this is something that has been still working on, so that's one of the things that hopefully they will be able to fix it for us before the public release. So just bear with me guys, this is gonna take a little bit of time until we get to 8630. Pass at 2000, now we have to go to 8630, that's the minimum for our approach. If we are down to that altitude and we don't see the runway, we have to execute a missed approach or a go around. Hopefully today we will see the runway, weather is good. Okay, almost there. How much for our top of descent? 2 miles. Okay, so let's start there and request descent. And they say, yeah, descent to 150. So we're gonna set 150 here. We are on VNAV path, and let's get the Cuenca meter to see what's going on there. Meter for Cuenca. Okay, wind count greater than 10, light rain, fewer 2000, broken 3000, overcast 1000, 12 degrees, 1026. Okay, 1026 then. So we set here 1026. Okay, preset here, should I say? And here as well 1026, and we are the approach mode. Perfect. 1026, 1026. Okay, so we are descending. Let me continue with my minima here. And let me retard my hardware. Sorry, that was just me retarding my hardware throttles. I was a little bit late to that. Once we are in ARM, I can do anything I want with my hardware throttles, and I need them to be in idle as well, so they don't interfere. And also, I'm ready to increase if necessary. Okay, so that was the problem. Now let's keep moving with our baro settings here. So we are starting the descent. Now we are 10,000 over the terrain. Let me finish with this minima first, and then we'll do the rest of stuff that we need to do. Almost there, 2,600 more to go. This is a really nice flight. Very short, very busy flight. You hardly have any time. You don't have time to even drink your coffee. But it's a really nice flight. But today, unfortunately, it's a little bit cloudy, so we cannot. But we don't even have time to look outside. So anyway, almost there. 1,000 more to go. Don't worry, guys. This will be fixed. Okay, so we're passing through, so we are going to set 1026, 1026, we change to enough speed, okay, and that is due to the huge difference in pressure, but we will regain that, not a problem. Okay, so 8630 is almost there, 85, 86, 30, finally. Okay, so that's our minima according to the chart. Airport elevation 8300, and making sure that we have that. Yes, 8300, and the cabin is still climbing towards that, and now the delta P will be reducing, which is good. Okay, what else? Let me decrease the range a little bit so we have better view. Perfect. We are on 95 radial from the VOR, and we can see that here we are nice. Good, perfect. Okay, so we have that, we have that, we have that. Auto brake will be number 3 as per our top cut. Let me see. For a landing, in flight, compute with not max manual, no, auto brake 3, compute, and let's go with wet. Yep, that is runway 2 short, landing distance 1917, and is 18. Okay, so we need just a tiny bit more than auto brake 3. So I'm going to use auto brake 3 and brake a little bit harder at the end. Okay, we are approaching, we're just 3 miles from the Cuenca VOR. We are starting to reduce the speed to 200. And Cuenca VOR is at or above 1500. Next altitude 12,500. So because we are in enough, I'm going to set that 12,500. That's our next altitude. And we can do the descent and the approach checklist. We are a little bit late for that, but no worries. Descent checklist, pressurization, landing altitude set, recall. That's what I missed. Recall check, everything works fine. Auto brake is 3. Landing data VRF is 127, minima 8630. Approach briefing is complete. Approach checklist altimeters 1026. Approach checklist complete. Okay, good. We are good to go. Now temperature +9. And we are still in the cloud. We're almost out of the clouds. Temperature +9, speed pretty high. So I'm not gonna set anti-ice. We're almost out of the clouds, so very good. There we go. Beautiful. Amazing. Alright guys, so we are now on the outbound leg, that is 081, so let me set it here just in case. 081, and let me synchronize my heading back, and we need to go to 2,500. Let's go flaps 1. Flaps 1, speed intervention to 180, and we never said that. Seat belts and landing lights are on. Okay. How is our pressurization? Climb. The cabin is already at 8,000 basically, so we are good. Still climbing a little bit more, maybe a couple of 100 feet to go, and we are good. Okay. Flaps 5. And we have a message: descent path unachievable. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay. Good. So 7 DME, we are established on the radial 081. Just about to go to the 7 DME. What did I do? I want this to go there. Okay.
Altimeter setting.
Okay. Okay. Range. Okay. So there we go. 7 DME starting the turn. Flaps 5. Speed 160. What? Oh, I said speed. I said flaps 15. Okay. Well, let's go flap 10. Yeah, sorry, I had my hardware here that went to. What is going on? What is that alarm? Okay, good. Well, now let's change to the ILSs 10.9, 10.9. Let's go to India Lima Charlie. That is correct. So we can arm the approach mode. VOR lock arm. Glide slope is armed. Lock capture, so we can set here 235.
Altimeter setting.
235. There it is. And glide slope capture. So now I can set the missed approach altitude here 1500. Good. Okay, now back to flap 15. 150 on the speed. We are established on localizer. Why is that? So that is wrong. Okay, gear down. Final approach point was also correct. That's interesting. That's not supposed to sound. Okay, anyway, we are descending. Good. Perfect. Let's check the chart here. Perfect. Okay, now that the gear is done, we should go to continuous thrust here. And flaps 40. And VREF plus 127 plus 5, 132. 2500 is checked. 132 is set. Flap 40 green light is set. Just need to arm the speed brake and landing checklists. Engine start switches, they are continuous. The speed brake is armed. Landing gear is down, 3 green, flaps 40, green lights. Landing checklist is complete. Okay, we are ready to land. Airport in sight. And we going. Looks like some bad weather coming over the Cuenca, but I still have the airport in sight, so we're good.
Approaching 2, 4.
That is good news. 1000 over the field. Missed approach altitude is set. And let's go manual. Click, 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 click.
Terrain, terrain.
Approaching minimums.
Continue.
Minimums.
Continue. Well, for reds, those puppy lights are not correctly calibrated in this scenery. That's for sure. Okay, speed brake extended, reversers on.
900 meters
And
remaining.
gonna brake a little bit harder at the end.
600 meters remaining.
Okay, 60 knots.
300 meters remaining.
Okay, stop the clock. 25 minutes flight time. Perfect. Now the area is clear here. And we are good to vacate the runway. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, this is as real as it gets, guys. Good, so now we are here, we can do our after landing flow. So lights. That's our lights. Make sure that we're still tracking the center line here. Okay, so lights are on, anti-ice not required, props are off, engine start selectors off. We have an annunciator disregarding to anti-ice, that is expected. Anti-skid and oops. Up. Okay. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Crew wheel flaps and slats retracting. Okay, so we are going to park here, maybe one of those. So let's start the APU. I'm gonna turn the taxi light off so I have one thing less to worry about. This truck is in the middle here, so I'm gonna go to the next one. So APU is starting, lights are off, we are good. Okay, so we are going to park here at spot number 3, stand number 3. Area is clear. And we need a marshaller here to proper required, so I'm gonna use just this outside view in lieu of a marshaller. Okay. So parking brake is set, APU is running, APU is on pass, and engines are off. We stop the watch or the clock. Let's see, less than 300 here, and we can set beacon light to off, seatbelts to off, and now we do the shutdown low. So fuel pumps off. I'm gonna leave one for the APU. Seatbelts are off, prop heats are off, hydraulics off, APU bleed on, isolation valve is open, lights are all off, exterior lights are all off. Now we can go ahead and select our flight directors to off. Normally we leave the CDUs on I-10 page for the next sector, I-10 page for the next sector, then we go here, we change this one, we select standby and 2000, and we can do our shutdown checklist. Before that, let's get this going. So they insert the chocks. So let's set that, let's set 0 here to unload everything. Here request that, request the pass, set 0 to that. Okay, so while we wait that, let's do our shutdown checklist. So shutdown checklist is here, shutdown checklist, fuel pumps off, prop heat off, hydraulic panel off, flaps up, parking brake set, engine start levers cut off, weather radar is in, off, shutdown checklist complete. Okay, so let's see here what's going on. They're still arriving. Okay, all the doors are open now, so we can start to unload this plane. Okay, okay, start with the planing. Just a few moments more to start unloading the cargo. So let's clear that, and clear that. And okay, so it was 25 minutes of flight time versus 26 minutes, not too bad. 4 tons minus 2, 3.8 minus 1.3, 2.5, and we have 2.5, perfect. Okay, start the plane. This clock time 40 minutes, so now we can we know that, we reset that, and we reset that, and fuel used, we can switch here 7474, so 1500, that's the total fuel that we have used during this flight. And yeah, that's it, we are in Cuenca. Welcome to Cuenca, everybody is disembarking. And that's been my introduction to the PMDG 737-700 beta version for Flight Simulator. I hope you guys like it, and I will be doing more videos soon. Thank you for watching. Take care. See you soon.